Yes, yes. All right. We are live on YouTube, and I've got my new gloves today. My new Spider Touch gloves that'll keep my hands warm and also allow me to use the touchscreen. And these gloves work amazing. Like, look at this. The quality is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. And they've got these, like, it's almost like a rubbery feel, but like a fabric rubbery feel that allows me to, scroll on the touchscreen. Spider is great quality, and Costco sells a lot of Spider products. I have a Spider. It's kind of like a shirt slash sweatshirt, and it's just great material, breathable, keeps you warm but doesn't overheat you. And I got these on Costco.com. Sometimes Costco.com has some really great deals. I got these for $12 a piece. I believe the retail is like $30, and I think Costco was selling them for like $19.99 at the wholesale price, their regular price, and they were clearancing them out for like $12, like $11.99. I got a couple of medium ones for myself and one for my lady. I wanted to try it out. I'm probably gonna go buy some more if they're still available. But yeah, if you need some great touch gloves that you can wear, out when it's a little chilly, and they work well with your smartphone, these Spider gloves are great. Go to Costco.com, unpaid endorsement. If you're watching this live or, within a few days on the replay, within a few days of this being live, and see if they're still there. Hope you're all having an amazing day. They're doing a fire alarm test here at the apartment complex. And, wow, these even work better than my other gloves. I'm going to be retiring the VI Grace and using Spider gloves probably from here on out. And it's cool. Look at that. They got the spider web on here in the hands. Like, these are phenomenal. And if my lady's watching right now, yeah, when I see you tomorrow, babe, I'll bring you yours. You're going to love these gloves. I picked up a pair for her. Anyway, I hope you're all having an amazing day. I've got another interesting topic to go over here on this show. And, I had some inspiration regarding this topic. I'll share more about that in just a little bit here. But I was gonna do that. I've been meaning to do this dating stories, or not dating stories. Sorry, dating advice for men and women. Volume, I believe it's volume 13 now. I've been meaning to do this stream from the studio for a while. I was going to do it tonight. My lady goes and plays darts on Tuesday nights. So it's a good night for me to do a in-studio stream, but I've got other things to do. I haven't trimmed my beard in over 2 weeks, and it's growing out to a level of what should I call it? Like a grizzly bear. So it's time to trim it, get a little more just for men on it, keep myself looking as young as possible at 48 and feeling good and looking good and all that, right? So, and that takes time, folks. It literally takes me about, over an hour between shaving my head and keeping it groomed and, trimming the beard and getting the Just for Men on there and rinsing it off in the shower. It's a process, folks. It's a process to take care of yourselves. It takes time and effort, but if you really love who you are and you want to show up being the best version of yourself you can be, it's always worth the time and effort. And sometimes you have to cut other things out you were going to do more important things like this to take care of yourself, right? Hey, Lewis, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Lewis. Can you do me a favor if you're here? Can you put the topic in the chat, please? Even though I pretty much remember the topic, I just don't want to butcher it. Let's see. There are many ways I was thinking about starting off this show, and I'm gonna just go ahead and briefly say what I'm gonna say, even though it kind of involves what I've been talking about for the past few streams with a few people that have come back to chat on this channel that were formerly banned and were formerly a part of some drama hate groups out here. And, they wanted to come back and chat because, they want to have a place to just have reasonable debates, which is what they call them. And I don't like to call them debates. I like to call them discussions. I think the word debate, correlates more with the word attack. And I feel the word discussion more correlates with a civil and reasonable conversation with someone, whether you agree or disagree. A debate gets heated. Have you heard of the term heated debate? I'm not into heated debates. I'm not looking to debate anybody out here on YouTube or anywhere on social media. And I'm not looking to attack anyone and, have, yelling and screaming matches at the top of our lungs because we disagree on something. I'm looking to have civil discussions where, hey, we may disagree on some things and agree on others, but when we disagree, we respectfully disagree, and we're still, civil to each other at the end of the day. We don't have to be friends, but we can be civil with each other, right? Because men and women in a good place emotionally are going to have disagreements, but they're going to be able to, respectfully disagree with others and say, hey, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. Here's the reason why. But hey, I get where you're coming from. I just feel differently about it. But thanks for your opinion. Appreciate it, right? That's the proper way to handle it. That's the mature and respectful way to handle things as a grown-ass adult. But many people don't do that, right? Excuse me. So, and I'm sure these two people are going to be tuning in, even if they're not chatting. Maybe they might chat, maybe they won't. I've been having some conversations in my chats lately with this couple on the internet that's been a part of these hate groups I used to be a part of. The man's name is J-Rom, and the woman's name is Anna. And, J-Rom was telling me yesterday through an email, we've been emailing back and forth, that he had a falling out with the drama group he was supporting, and he's moved on, and he now, he actually went on another channel to talk about this. It was a channel that's run by a lady that calls her channel the Midnight Raven. I don't have a problem saying that. I don't even have a problem with her. I never did. It's just she has such a difference of opinion in what I do. That I ended up banning her at one point. I unbanned her about a year afterwards, and then she got quickly rebanned the next time coming on. Not because that she disagrees with what I say. I don't have a problem with people disagreeing with me. I have a problem with how they disagree. Do they disagree respectfully, or do they disagree in attacking ways? You see, when people disagree with you, it's one thing. When they disagree with you and attack your character at the same time, or try to attack your character or assassinate your character, I'm not going to deal with people like that, and you shouldn't either, all right? And, I don't have a problem with this woman even to this day. She still talks smack about me. I really don't care. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to talk smack about you, Raven. I don't have a problem with you. You're doing your own thing. I'm doing mine. But she had J-Rom on her panel. J-Rom made me aware of this. And last night I was just kind of curious a little bit after the conversation I had with J-Rom in my chat, after he had been banned here for a year and then requested to come back in a civil manner, right? And I went and listened to, not the entire show, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours. I scanned through the parts where J-Rom was talking specifically about me. And I wasn't surprised by what he said. If you're here, J-Rom, I wasn't surprised by what you said. I'm not going to ban you. I'm not going to remove you. I'm not going to remove Anna. I'm just going to share my thoughts about this situation and then move forward to the topic, which was inspired by something you said. So yeah, I've even given you some credit for that. You inspired a great topic. I thank you for that. Okay. But J-Rom was saying that, I don't believe Eli's a real life coach. I don't see him as a real life coach. And it's because he doesn't have enough experience to be a life coach. Okay? So your opinion of me, J-Rom, is that I don't have enough experience to be a life coach. On this channel alone, I've created about probably 1,200 videos, and about 850 to almost 900 are public. I've created over 1,000 videos, primarily live streams from mobile or my studio, and then some pre-recorded videos in between, where I come out here every day, if not almost every day, for an hour or two and tackle a different topic. And I use examples within that topic or within those topics of experiences I had, how I failed, and what I did to turn it around. And I have a lot of experiences like that. But you're coming out and saying that you feel that I'm not a real life coach or qualified to be a real life coach because I lack experience at 48 years old. In essence, are you trying to say that I'm making all this shit up? Are you saying that I'm coming out here each and every day and just putting together a bunch of phony baloney and freestyling, phony baloney for an hour or two? I think more so what you're trying to say, J-Rom, and I talked about this today earlier with my lady. She's off work today. She's probably watching right now. I talked about this with my lady today, and I think more so, who is that? What is that fuzzy thing attached to your headset? What do you think it is? You're from the other side trolling. How about you tell me how you found out about this channel? Tell me a little bit more about yourself. And then I'd be happy to explain more about what this is. Don't get triggered, because if you get triggered, I'll remove you. Your portal. These people don't realize I've seen these people chat in the Dramasphere channels, and they think I don't recognize these stock accounts, huh? Well, your portal, how'd you find out about my channel? And don't tell me you were recommended this. How did you find out about this channel, your portal? So anyway, like I was saying a second ago, and hopefully I don't get cut off. This is an area where I typically get cut off. I did a search for divorce topics and you were live. Well, I'm a life coach. I'm a business and personal success coach / life coach. And I tackle different topics every day. Divorce is one of them I've talked about in the past. Talk about male and female relationship dynamics. I also talk about business topics, self-employment, being an entrepreneur and working in the corporate world, etc. Hey, J-Rom, I knew you couldn't stay away. J-Rom says, no, I'm saying you've seemingly never left California and haven't had called observer bias. I also said some of the stuff you put out is accurate. Sorry, I'm in the desert and internet is spotty at best. Well, I mean, you don't have to always tune in when I'm live, bro. You can always chat another time if the internet's spotty or you're taking a day off with your lady, or maybe you're just working and driving. You know, I've heard everything you said. And I think more so what you're also trying to say is that you've never been married and had children. That is true. That doesn't mean I lack experience. There are many coaches out there and many therapists out there and many people out there in general that have never been married and have no kids, but they've had great relationships and they've learned from them. And that's called experience, brother. Right? And as far as you saying observer's biased, I'll get to that in a second. I can understand where you're coming from on that, but I don't think you've really listened to my content that closely, because my content is not your cup of tea typically. So you're going to, what do you call it? You're going to cherry pick is what they call it. You're going to cherry pick through parts and then form an opinion of those parts that you've cherry picked. I got a text. You was speaking on me. Was is not were, or you are. And I come in to hear my comment on your experience, so I wanted to clarify before I lost service, as I'm on I-10 in New Mexico. Well, have a safe ride, sir. I don't know how you're typing and driving. Maybe you're using, text to, voice to text or something like that. But hey, maybe you're parked on the side of the road. Who knows? Just hope you're being safe regardless. But as far as observers' bias, that's kind of irrelevant to everything. I'll share more in just a second, because my opinions that I put out here are completely unbiased opinions. A lot of them are based on my own personal experiences, but I've always also taken other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration, including other demographics as well. So just to make it real clear, I'm not a biased person. I've always been big on sharing unbiased opinions and unbiased feedback. I'm even the same way with my lady, and she knows it. Coach J-Rom doesn't consider himself a life coach. If he wants to, he can. You can be whoever you want to be in this world nowadays. You're a portal. But he called his channel Coach J-Rom just to troll me and take a stab at me a year and a half ago or so. It's not a big deal. So he does fitness coaching, I believe. He's a fitness trainer now. He got certified, and that's the business he's working on. I believe he also does truck driving, and that's that. Yeah. So, but anyway, another thing before I get to the topic here and get more into, what J-Rom was saying about me having a biased opinion based on where I live regarding dating and women, right? Another thing, and this is just pretty sad, bro. I mean, I'm not going to ban you or ban Anna. I'm just, putting this out there because, I just I want people to really see, certain things that people will do that really don't make any sense. You see, you also mentioned on that show yesterday that your girlfriend, Anna, your fiance, Anna, was actually told by that former drama group on the other side to come and lightly troll me under her Sweet Pea 1985 account. And she had mentioned she did it because her other account, Anna Ram, was banned. Well, the truth of the matter is, I never banned that account. I checked on it today. It was never banned. She never tried to come in on her main account. Maybe she assumed it was banned. But even if she knew it wasn't banned, if she was going to try to come in and lightly troll me, it wasn't going to work on her main account. Because if she was trolling me on her main account, then that account would get banned, right? But here's my question to you, J-Rom. I mean, is that a real mature thing to do? Especially after what you went through that other group where you left that group because you realized it's not a productive use of your time. Do you feel that, that group enlisting your woman to come in and lightly troll me as a joke is something that's a mature thing for grown-ass people to do in their early 40s? I'm just asking an honest question, bro. Is that the most mature thing you can do? I mean, I just, politely asking you, Because my woman was wondering why I was thinking about, removing you guys or removing Anna. And I'm not going to, as long as you keep it civil like you have been, right? But then I explained to my woman what was going on, and she's like, wow, some of these people just really have too much time on their hands, is what she said. I said, you said it, baby. I've been saying that for years. And I got caught up in it for a little while. But I got away from it. Now I've become an expert at helping people stay away from drama like this so they can focus on their greatness and creating real content that's going to be sustainable long term. So yeah, I mean, it's a fair question to ask you, Coach J-Rom, whether you're here still alive or if you lost reception, you come back on the replay, make a comment, right? Do you think that was the most mature thing to do? To have that group you used to be a part of behind the scenes in their Discord enlist your girlfriend, a grown-ass woman in her early 40s, right? To come in after all this time that I haven't talked about you folks for over a year, to come in and lightly troll me under a fake account when her main account was never banned. And again, to be fair, she probably didn't know it wasn't banned because she just probably assumed anyone that's a part of that other group is banned. So I'll give you that. That's fine. Right? Right? And then even after all of that happened and I found out what was really going on, and now that I heard what you said on that stream yesterday, I'm still not going to ban you as long as you're civil like you have been, and same with her, right? Right? But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. And then I'm going to get to the topic. This is part of the topic. It's going to make sense, right? Right? And I'm not upset. I'm just having a friendly conversation here with you, J-Rom. My question to you is this. You have your own opinions. You're entitled to your own opinions, right? It just so happens to be that your opinions are night and day when compared to my opinions, right? I see that, I understand that, and I accept that about you. That's just who you are and how you are. When it comes to the difference of opinions between you and myself, we're on completely the opposite end of the spectrum. No doubt about it. It's always been that way, and that's how it's probably always going to be, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with you having opinions that are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum as mine, right? It's your right, you're entitled to it, no problem, right? So if that's what the case is, J-Rom, where your opinions are completely different than mine, and we don't really have a lot of common ground, maybe a few things here and there, like you say, right? But for the majority, I'd say probably, if I had to give a percentage of the things that you have a difference of opinion on with me, I'd say 90+%, right? So if that's the case, my fair question to you is, what value do you get coming here? And why is it worthy of investing your time to come here when 90+% of the things that I talk about you are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, right? Now, I have my opinions of why you're here, and I have my opinions on what I think you're actually doing, but I'm going to keep that to myself and see what you have to say. If you're going to say anything, no problem, right? And I'm not upset. I'm just having a friendly conversation, right? As we lead into the topic here today, right? The funny thing to me is that I haven't watched your channel or these channels for over a year, right? Every now and then when something like this happens, people want to come back, whatever, right? I opened it up, right? I wanted to see if some good people wanted to come back. You reached out, you were being civil, at least during then. Maybe you still are now. Maybe you will be, who knows, right? Maybe you will be for a while, who knows, right? So you know, I gave you the chance, right? But what really makes me wonder, and again, I have my reasons why I think this is happening. I'm not going to share it. I'm just going to put it out to you folks and ask you the question, right? Right? If many of you folks, you know, including the Raven that you were on, and any other people that have been a part of your group, J-Rom, or the group of people that you have surrounded yourself with, or at least used to, right? If you folks have such a large difference of opinion and disagree on almost everything I talk about, which is fine, it's your right, why do you all continue watching me? Like Raven says, I find Eli entertaining. Okay, I mean, well, if you find me entertaining, ma'am, then I guess you're getting some value, right? But then you find me entertaining and you talk a bunch of nonsense about me, which makes absolutely no sense, right? Everything that I've talked about, I've justified it with logic and reasoning. I've shared my opinions. The stuff that you folks have tried to come at me with have no logic and reasoning at all. So you put two and two together, you know, when it has no logic or reasoning behind it, the only thing left is an emotional response. Someone hit your hot button because what they were saying is the truth about something you're either currently going through or you've been through in the past, right? And then you see someone like me that's a strong person, has worked through all these things and doesn't let these things get to me. You see me being a strong person, and because you're not as strong as I am, you gotta react to me in that way, so that way it makes you feel better, right? Well, here's the thing. I'm not trying to say I'm any better than any of you. I've never said that, right? And the truth of the matter is, I understand that, you know, people are going to go through things. People have emotional and mental issues, and they have emotional trauma that they're trying to work through, probably stemming back to their childhood or a previous relationship or marriage, right? Everyone goes through shit, and I understand that, and I have tolerance for that, right? Right? But when you continue to consume someone's content that you don't like, and their message is the complete opposite of what you believe in, why do you feel the need to keep talking about that person or those people, right? And keep trying to attack them? Why? It's not necessary, especially for grown-ass people, right? Grown-ass mature adults, right? Behaving like little kids, right? And that's why you folks get triggered and keep talking about me, because you're not as strong as I am. And I'm not saying this to trigger you or say I'm any better than you. I'm not saying I'm any better than you or trying to trigger you. It's just the truth. You're not as strong as I am, right? Because if you were as strong as I am or stronger than me, nothing I say right now would trigger an emotional response. And then you go live on YouTube and run a 2-3 hour drama shit show panel like the Raven did, like the mid 30s guy did the other day. See what you guys do? When you guys are emotionally butthurt because someone like me says something that has nothing to do with you, and for some reason it triggers you because maybe we're talking about something that's hit one of your hot buttons, your emotional hot buttons, right? Instead of just ignoring it and letting it go, or trying to take that information and turn your life around for the better, you guys go and run 2-3 hour drama shit show panels on your YouTube channel. And all you do is talk smack about other people because, in essence, it's making you feel better about yourself. I bet the two of you have more common ground than just 10%. Have you guys sat down and actually talked about your series and principles? Your portal, I'm not sure if you're trolling or you're here for real. I never know nowadays anymore. I gotta just take your word for it that you're being legit. Right? J-Rom and I are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, I'll share more about my thoughts on my way back from this first part of the trail. I'm almost at this first part. When I get into the topic here, more so stemming off of what I've been talking about, right? But yeah, J-Rom and I are not looking to work together, and we're not even considered friends. He just wanted to have a place to talk because I do talk about some subjects that he's interested in, and he wants to share his opinions, and that's okay. I'm cool with that as long as you respect my rules that are posted in my chat at the top of the chat when you first come in. YouTube added a section where you can add up to 3 rules. No trolling, no attacking, no hating, right? No doxing, and you're good. That's it. So there really is no need to sit down with J-Rom and try to come up with a way we can work together because our differences are too far apart, right? All he wants is a place to kind of, share some feedback every now and then, because we have a little bit of overlap in certain areas of topics he likes to discuss. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. As long as you follow my rules, we're good. It would certainly make for an interesting debate. Well, I'm not looking to debate anyone. I bet you guys could both learn something from each other. I learned something from everyone, sir. Regardless of who you are, whether you're trolling or somebody here that just found out about the channel. I think you're trolling, but that's okay. I learned something from everyone every single day, even as a coach. The best coaches out there, even Coach Corey Wayne, Coach Dan Bacon, Tony Robbins, they all learn something new each and every day, and we're all open to learning something new each and every day. WrestlerMania. Hey, how you doing? Hey there, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Looks like a nice, safe, open area to walk. Is that a new road or a new handicap accessible trail going in next to you? Blacktop strip to your left. I've talked about that many times before. You just haven't. I don't think you've been here when I've shown that. I don't know what they're building. I don't know what they're building. Jamie WrestlerMania, the WrestleMania channel's owner is named Jamie. Yeah, I don't know if they're building an access road over there or they're, adding another part of the SF Bay Trail or putting in or building a business or something. As soon as more construction happens and I can figure it out, then I'll let you folks know. But yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, to be honest with you. I'm just waiting here. Somebody's walking past me. They're walking at a very, very fast pace. I've watched Corey Wayne content before. Yeah, Corey Wayne is fantastic. Man, these new gloves work so much better than the older ones. Wow, this is amazing. Let me see here. All right. All right, folks. I'm going to get right to the topic here, and as we get more questions, I will answer them in the chat here. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the San Francisco Bay Trail here in beautiful Redwood City, California. This is episode number 248, 248 of these. Only two away from 250. I will do a special episode from a different location for episode 250. And as long as everything goes smoothly that day and I don't have to do a quick episode by coming out here, my intentions are to do an episode from a special location. So stick around for that. It will be happening probably within a few days or so. Tomorrow I'm taking the day off. I'm going to be spending some time with my lady. And then I will be back on Thursday and probably on Friday. Thursday should be episode 249 and Friday should be episode 250. LOL. The poor guy is probably walking fast because he sees some guy talking to himself into a big fuzzy rat near his mouth. Yeah, I hear that all the time. WrestleMania, Jamie, it's all good. You all know that without this big fuzzy rat, whatever you want to call it, in my mouth, in my face, or whatever, you wouldn't be able to hear anything right now with the amount of wind. I mean, it's not extremely windy, but it's probably 20-mile-an-hour wind right now. So, always wonder what older people think when they see me vlog as well. No, it's cool. That's absolutely cool, man. I hope you and your family is doing well. Your son Elias, same name as mine, and your wife. I hope all is well for you. Anyway, it's episode number 248. And the topic of today's show is, hold on, folks. Give me a second here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, folks. Back. The topic is, do demographics matter in dating? Hang on, give me one more second. Okay, folks, sorry, I'm back. I thought something was glitching out. The topic is, do demographics apply to dating? California women versus women of the entire world, or women of the rest of the world, right? Or in the rest of the world. Do demographics apply to dating? California women versus the rest of the world, the rest of the women in the world. which is what I'm trying to say. And I was inspired to do this topic by Mr. J. Rom, who was talking about this, and I'm going to share my thoughts regarding demographics and the ways that they do affect dating and the ways that they don't affect dating. I think there's a misperception happening here in the way some people perceive my content. And I'm going to clear it up for you folks here today. And if you have your opinions and your thoughts, that's great. I'd love to hear it, whether you're here live or on the replay. Uh-oh. Walked too far away from the cell towers. Eli got cut. No, I cut myself off. I actually haven't been cut off once today. Besides the 2 times I cut myself off because I thought there was a glitch happening. But there wasn't. Wow, it's a jackrabbit. That's a pretty big jackrabbit. Where are you going, Jack? So, do demographics matter in dating? See, J-Rom, who I talked about during the first part of this show, was on another live streamer's panel and was saying some things about me and kind of mentioned a little bit about what he was saying and my thoughts about it at the beginning of the show. So if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. If you're here live, I have the DVR, the rewind feature disabled, so you can be here live. But he also mentioned something else, saying that, I think Eli lacks experience outside of California, and his content regarding what he says about women probably pertains for the most part in California, but things are different elsewhere. Okay, that's a fair thing to challenge. It's a fair thing to challenge. Although I've never seen any other man on YouTube or on the planet since social media has been out challenge another man's opinion about women and why they are the way they are and how they are based on demographics. This is the first time I've ever seen anyone take it to this level. And see, J-Rob, here's the thing. You're coming at me, and that's fine. You can come at me. I'm not saying it that way, just respectfully. You're coming at me and saying that my opinions are biased. And they're not. And what I say here, and explain why I feel you feel that way about my opinions being biased regarding what I say about how women are. You think it's because of me being here in California, right? I think the reason why you feel that way is because your opinions are biased based on where you live I think you're in the South or the Midwest, and based on the type of woman you have that is completely 100% submissive to you at your beck and call. That's just the way she is, and maybe that's the type of woman you like, but I will tell you honestly, like I've told your woman Anna, and I'll tell you, women like Anna don't really exist. I mean, 99.999999% of women with a repeating line over the nines, right? 99.99999% of women are not 100% submissive, and they shouldn't be. They should be primarily submissive. Like I've said before, there's somebody coming. I'm going to see if he goes to the observation deck, and I'm going to wait. Like I've said before, both men and women need to be in their natural biological essence of being masculine and feminine 70 to 80% of the time. And the other 20 to 30%, they can be in their opposite, essence, right? Because sometimes men are going to be emotional with their lady at times. They're going to bond emotionally. There's nothing wrong with a man being that way 20 to 30% of the time. There's also nothing wrong with a woman being more assertive and dominant 20 to 30% of the time, and not just in the bedroom, but even at times when she's out with her man. My woman gets like that, and when she gets like that, I know what's happening. She's having a moment, and she wants to feel my strength. She's testing me to see how strong I am, right? Without even realizing it, right? And what happens is, I say, baby, you're being ridiculous. She goes, why? Because you are. I said, baby, come here and give me a kiss. And then she comes and gives me a kiss, and that's all it takes, right? I'm being a man. I'm standing up to her in a respectful, loving, yet dominant way. She's trying to come at me, and I'm saying, baby, you're just having a moment. I'm here for you. I'm your man. I'm your strength. I'm your rock. But I also respect the fact that you have the balls to come at me, right? It makes things interesting, right? So women that are 100% submissive, J-Rom, really don't exist. Yours is like 1 in a billion, bro. I'm telling you. Your woman is like 1 in a billion. All right, let me come up here because nobody's up here right now. So I think because you're with a woman that is extremely rare, 100% submissive, that is creating a bias in the way you see things. And that's okay. As long as you're happy with your woman, you're happy with the way you're living your life, there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is that your woman is like 1 in a billion. And I'm not saying your woman's a nice woman. She's not a bad person, right? But quite frankly, you ask most guys out there, even strong alpha males today, they would not want a woman that's 100% submissive. They would want a woman that's primarily submissive that also has a spine to make things a little fun, challenging, and interesting at times. Okay? Let's see. I would agree with him if he lived in Los Angeles, for example. If you lived in Los Angeles, is what I meant. Okay, Los Angeles is definitely a different demographic for sure. Well, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's the same thing here as it is in Los Angeles. The women in California are pretty much the same for the most part. I'll share more about that as I start walking back down from the observation deck. The Los Angeles dating market is brutal, and it is here in the San Francisco Bay Area, bro. Same thing. It's a little bit bigger down there, but it's the same thing, man. It's California. So, J-Rom does make some valid points when he says demographics come into play, but that's not all that comes into play, and that's not what I've said in the past. He's misinterpreted what I've said about women, and I'll get to that in a second. Los Angeles and Miami are very different places demographically to meet women compared to a lot of the other parts of the country. Wow, he must have found one of the rare ones if she actually listens to him. Well, dude, I think all men and women when they're in a relationship should listen to each other. They don't have to agree on everything, but I think, I mean, she not only listens to him, she does everything she's told, whether she agrees with it or not. She is 100% submissive, even if it's not something that she feels is right. And that's where I have a problem. I feel women should have the right to do what the hell they want. And then if it, women should just be themselves. And if the right match of a man comes along, then they get along. They accept each other for who they are, right? You shouldn't have to be 100% submissive to a man to get him, but you still need to be primarily submissive, yet have a spine to stand up for yourself and make it interesting. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I listen to my woman and she listens to me, but does that mean we agree on everything? No, but at the end of the day, we agree on more than we disagree, and when we disagree respectfully and maturely, right? Does she get a little emotional at times? She's a woman, for Christ's sake. But my job as a man is to not get emotional during those times and to be her rock. And let her feel my strength. Then she snaps out of it. And then she's like, oh, baby, you're the best. Thank you so much. I had a moment, right? It's because I was being man enough to stand up to her. Not being mean to her. I'm giving her the strength that she needs, that women want in a man. And as we get into the next part here, on where I think the confusion is for a guy like J-Rom or other people, that think my opinions about the way women are or how to get a woman is based on women in California. No, here's the thing. There's a difference between a woman's attitude and a woman's biology. Okay? Let me repeat that one more time, and hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. There's a difference between behavior / attitude of people. In this case, we're talking about women. There's a difference between a woman's attitude and behavior, and there's a difference with what she is at a biological level, what she's born with biologically. Okay? If we're going to talk about behaviors and attitudes of women, okay, I will agree to a certain extent with what J-Rom is saying. If you're talking about women in the Midwest and the South, the Southern Belles, right, J-Rom? The Southern Belles, right? Okay? If you're talking about the Southern Belles, there are more Southern Belles in the South and the Midwest, right, than there are in California, or New York is another city that's just like California. So let's talk about New York, California. Let's talk about bigger cities like Boston, and Chicago, etc. Big major cities, right, that have major corporations there, right? So here's what happens. Here's what happens, right? In California, New York, and those other big cities I mentioned, that's where all the jobs are at. That's where all the corporate jobs are at. Here we're the high-tech capital of the world. We have many executive level positions, and many women here are in those executive level positions. Like I've said before, I'll say it again. Those jobs, whether a man or a woman does them, women are capable of doing these jobs, but they require the woman to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy, right? So these jobs in these big areas like California, where I'm at, New York, Boston, okay, Chicago, and other major cities where these large corporations are at, primarily at, right, are going to, and these states, because of these jobs, are employing more women that are doing jobs that require them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy when at work. And a lot of these women can't turn it off when they go home. And they act like men to other men. And for me, that doesn't work. Because these are women that are so sucked into their work, right, and being liberated nowadays and being independent, that they're more career focused than family focused or relationship focused, right? And what ends up happening is that they can't turn off the masculine energy, right? Now, yes, J-Rom, those types of women are going to be more found in areas like where I'm at in California or New York or places where these big corporations are at, right? That doesn't mean we don't have any Southern Belles, figuratively speaking, because it's not the South. That doesn't mean we don't have any Southern Belle type of women here in California. We do, but it's just much less of that than you have in your area. You see, in the Midwest and the South, I'm not saying they don't have any large corporations there or anything, but there are far fewer jobs in these areas that J-Rom is talking about, the Midwest and the South, where he says women are different, right? So a lot of these women, there are far fewer women that are working these jobs that require them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And that's why it appears, and may be true to a certain extent, that there are more women that are more submissive than dominant in the areas that I'm speaking of, the Midwest and the South. But see, my opinions are not biased. I've always been an honest and straightforward person, right? And my opinions are not skewed or biased according to where I live here in California. I research the world. Everything I do comes at a global level, including the way things are in other states around here, right? Now, we're going to talk about biology here in a second, which is where this is going to make sense because we talked about women's behaviors and what affects a woman's behavior, right? And demographics probably, or in my opinion, actually do affect a woman's behavior because of the type of job she's working at, right? But let me read the chat here real quick before we get to that. Are you a liberal, Democrat, or moderate? I'm assuming, being from San Francisco, you're one of those. I refuse to use dating apps. I rely mainly on cold approach and occasionally connections through acquaintances. Well, in my opinion, you know, political party preference doesn't matter. I love everyone equally. But to answer your question, I've said this before in the past. I know you haven't been here. I'm a slight left liberal. Slight left. I'm more so down the middle. That's why you say I'm moderate. Maybe more moderate, maybe libertarian. But here's the thing. This is the way I look at things. I hate politics. I do. I hate politics because, you know, I love everyone, regardless of your political party preference, whether you're on the left, the right, down the middle. You should be more down the middle, right? People should be down the middle. It should be more about what makes sense for the best overall aspect of everyone, right? But we have the left and the right fighting over shit, which is stupid, right? Now, do I honestly feel that the left is doing things a little bit better than the right? Yes, but not by a whole lot. The only reason why I think the left's a little bit better is because the left handles things more respectfully and maturely, whereas most people on the right are fighting, you know, Second Amendment rights and want to blow everyone's heads off, right? You don't see people on the left, you know, talking about gun laws and stuff like that because we want to keep the peace. We don't want to use violent force to get things done. We want to get things done the respectful, professional, and mature way. That's just my opinion. You may have yours, no problem. But again, I'm slightly on the left, probably more so down the middle. I like some conservative views and I like some liberal views, but I can't stand some liberal views and can't stand some conservative views, right? I'm not an extremist one way or another. I'm the kind of person that's like Joe Biden, even though you probably don't like Joe Biden, a lot of people don't. Joe Biden is not the president for Democrats just because he's a Democrat. He's the president for all people. He says it himself. Joe Biden is the people's president. And Donald Trump not only wasn't the president for the Democrats, he wasn't even the president for real Republicans. Donald Trump is an alt-right person. Donald Trump's followers are alt-right. In my opinion, what a waste of 4 years. But that's just my opinion, right? And I don't, not like him because he considered himself to be a Republican. He's a fake Republican. Everyone knows that, right? At least people on the left and the moderates know that, right? It's not even about the fact that he's a fake Republican, a Republican in general, right? A registered Republican. It's the fact of what he did and didn't do. Going back to, I just lost the election to Joe Biden. And now I'm going to try to stir up the drama pot. All right, folks, I'm sorry. I got cut off. I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I'm back. So like I was saying, instead of Trump tackling the pandemic, this is back at the end of 2020. He had, 2 months left in his term after he lost the election to Joe Biden. He also then, instead of, fighting or helping people out with the pandemic and trying to get things done, he went golfing almost every day. And it surprises me that 70 million people support that guy for going golfing during a time where people were dying. Right? And the people that support him are typically the anti-vaxxers, right? And then what does Trump do? He tries to appease the anti-vaxxers because they're the people that are supporting him, but secretly gets vaccinated himself. There's a bunch of hypocrisy in politics. I can't stand hypocrisy. Hypocrisy in politics, hypocrisy in the corporate world. People are big fucking hypocrites nowadays. That's what's happening, right? I keep it raw and real. I keep it fresh. you know, and I keep it unbiased. My opinions are unbiased. Even when I talk with my lady, I tell her, babe, I'm not saying this just because we're together. I honestly feel you're good at this, right? I'm going to keep it real and 100, like you guys say nowadays. Keep it real and 100, even with my lady. I don't suck up to my lady. I'm good to her because she's a good woman. And she is going to appreciate me more so being honest with her about things that I think about her and things that she does and things she's good at and not, than me pretending to say that she's good at it just to suck up to her. That's not going to do shit for her. Got to keep it real. Hey Adelaide, how you doing? I refuse to use dating apps, says your portal. I rely mainly on cold approach and occasionally connections through acquaintances. Yeah, if that works for you, that's good. See, dating apps can work. And they do work as long as, like I've said before, you take really good quality, high resolution pictures nowadays, which should be no issue with your smartphone. Now, I've got a nice Sony mirrorless camera, the Sony a6400. It's a 24.3 megapixel camera, and it takes nice photos. But the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a 12 megapixel camera, and that's more pixels than you need. These smartphones have great cameras now, especially on the iPhones. Now, Androids take good pictures too, but I just like the way the iPhone looks. That's just my preference. And the only Apple product I have is the iPhone. Everything else is Windows PC. Okay? There's no excuse why people shouldn't take nice, clear pictures nowadays. Some of them full body, some of them headshots, right? Right? Write a nice profile, grammar and spelling on point, right? And then you got to play the law of large numbers. You got to talk to a lot of women because they're talking to a lot of men. And eventually you're going to find one. Online dating and dating apps do work as long as you know how to work them and not let them work you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. And yes, looks do matter. Take care of yourself. If you're overweight, get into shape. If you wear crappy clothing, buy nice clothing like I have. I'm not trying to show off, I'm just stating the facts. That's what's attractive to women, right? Okay? In a second here, we'll get to the next part and talk about women's biology and try to further respond to what J-Ron was saying, so hopefully it makes sense to him and anyone else that would ever question what I've said in the past regarding what's attractive to men. What's attractive to women about men, which is what I'm trying to say. We've had some clouds up above, and the sun is starting to pop out. I mean, there's no rain in the forecast, but just this patch of cloud, or this patch of clouds has come over here, made it a little bit gloomy, but I think it's going to burn off and it's going to be fine. And your portal, you're here the first time. There's a private plane airport nearby here. This is Redwood City, right down the way is the San Carlos Airport. And that's another part about walking this trail. Beautiful. And then it's about, communicating through the dating apps. Be fun and flirty, but don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Be cool, don't be thirsty, don't, overly text a woman. And one of the key secrets to, getting a woman and keeping her around and getting her to respect you is to never show more interest than she does, even if you're actually more interested than her. We're guys. We see a woman and we're like, we want to boing you. Before we even know if we want to spend more time with you or not, we look at you and it's like, okay, do we want to boing you or not, right? I say boing respectfully, right? P's the YouTube algorithm, right? Okay? Boing, bang, whatever, right? F, whatever, right? And yeah, you talk through some text. Then you get the woman's number. You have a half an hour to hour phone conversation with her. And if you sense that she's excited to want to meet you, and you can feel that through a phone conversation, then you meet her and see where it goes. If she doesn't show excitement, or you can't feel excitement from her on a phone call, then you just let her go. You can let her know you're no longer interested, or you can do what most people do, ghost her. That happens nowadays. It is what it is. You just have to understand how to play the game, and it is a game. You don't have to make it a game when you're with the woman, but it is kind of a game, and you have to learn the game to get a woman's attention the right way, keep her attention, and eventually it turns into something, long term. Give me a second here. Good evening, Eli. How you doing, Lewis? Can you still see me there? All right, so let me know if you're still there, Lewis, and if you can see me clearly and hear me clearly. So that way I make sure that my camera isn't black, but you can hear me. It happens at times. All right, so let's talk about, where demographics do not come into play. And where, in my opinion, demographics really don't in a relationship. Because all men and women are biologically the same, right? At a biological level, all men and women were created the same by a higher power that I believe to be God. Now, I know most people that I associate with, and most people in this world do believe in God. Now, some of you don't. Some of you have other beliefs. I still love you. I'm not here to disrespect that, but I know the majority of people here and in this world believe in it, right? I believe, and most normal, reasonable men and women believe that men and women were biologically made to be the same at a biological level by a higher power, known as God, right? Now, when I say the same, we are born with the same body parts. Men and women have different body parts, but all women have the same body parts. They might have a different color of skin, right? They might be taller, shorter, right? There are variations of men and women, height, weight, color, etc., right? But all our body parts are the same. Women's emotions function the same. What women are attracted to when it comes to men biologically is the same for every single woman, as long as she's straight. If she's not, she's attracted to women, right? But we're just talking about straight women here, right? If we're talking about straight women, right? Straight women are biologically attracted to men in the same ways, regardless of where they're from, and regardless of whether they're more of a dominant woman or a submissive woman, okay? I'm going to repeat that one more time so you understand, okay? Women at a biological level are attracted to men for the same reasons in the same ways, okay? Whether or regardless of where they're from, where they live, regardless of the demographic, right? Regardless of whether they're more submissive or dominant, they're still attracted to men in the same ways. And this is J-Rom, where I think you have misunderstood where I'm coming from. Maybe you've already known this, or you just wanted to bust my chops, or maybe you just learned something new here. And that's okay, J-Rom. It's okay even to learn something new from me. I'm not trying to one-up you or anything. I'm just basically stating the biological facts about men and women that no one can question. Biology is biology, J-Rom. How do you question biology, right? Because Here's the thing, regardless of where women are from, whether it's California, whether it's New York, whether it's Massachusetts, whether it's Louisiana, Ohio, right, Atlanta, or any of those southern states that you're down in there with Anna, right? Or even if it's a different country, China, Russia, we don't want to talk about them, Ukraine, you know, any other countries, right? All women are biologically attracted to this aspect of a man. They're attracted to a man's strength, physical strength, and emotional strength, and emotional intelligence, and emotional awareness. But the two biggest things that are the same for all women, regardless of where they're from or whether they're more dominant or submissive, right? Women are attracted to a man's strength, emotional strength and physical strength too, but even more so emotional strength, right? A man that can handle his own, right? And they are repelled by the emotional weakness of a man. Okay? Now, you may ask, well, why do some women, you know, end up going out with men that are emotionally weak? Because those are the women that are acting more dominant. Like a lot of the women out here, J-Rom, and everyone else. A lot of women out here in California, especially in the Bay Area, in the high-tech world, like I said earlier, are working jobs, you know, corporate jobs, managerial corporate executive jobs that require them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy, right? And they can't turn it off when they go home. So a guy like me wants nothing to do with a woman like that because she's too masculine, too dominant, right? That doesn't turn me on about a woman, right? So what happens? These women end up settling for the only guys that will give them the time of day. Those are the thirsty beta males that are weak and needy and desperate and insecure. But the real men like me are not giving these dominant women the time of day. Even though these dominant women are very attractive, they're making good money, they've got a nice car, a nice house, everything's all great. But they're too masculine, too dominant. There's no sexual chemistry. There's no sexual polarity there. The polarity's off, right? That's what happens. Give me just a second here. So these women end up settling for the thirsty beta male because the thirsty beta male is all they can get. And once they get the thirsty beta male and he's overly compliant and she's wearing the pants, after a while, she gets tired of it because she cannot look up to that man for his strength. He's a weak man, and she knows she knows she's stronger than him, right? She's stronger than him physically, probably even, and that does happen nowadays with ladies. Trust me. Even though they were biologically made different, there are women that are more physically stronger than men. But when a woman is emotional, wow, what is that? Is that a little squirrel? I think so. Hey, buddy. Give me a second. Boom! These touch gloves work really well. These spider touch gloves. I can use touch zoom even better. This is fantastic. Whoops. Yeah, so these women, you know, start to lose respect for these guys, right? Because these guys are weak, right? And initially these women don't realize that They accept these guys because the guys they really want won't put up with their extreme masculinity and dominance of ways they're behaving, right? So they settle for the betas, and after a while, they get tired of the betas, and then they dump the beta, right? And then they can't figure out, or they say that there aren't any good men left out there, when they're not realizing what the problem is. The problem is that the men you want are not going to date a woman that's acting like the men you want. But see, a lot of these women nowadays in these jobs, they feel the power and the money, and they get power hungry, and they get used to having the power, and they can't relinquish that when they go home. And it's not even about relinquishing power to your man. It's, in my opinion nowadays, it's more so about respecting each other equally as man and woman, right? Like with my lady and I respect her as my lady. She respects me as her man. I don't put her above me, but I don't put her beneath me. And she doesn't put herself above me or beneath me. We are truly each other's equals. That's the way it should be, right? But in order to be there, she has to be able to feel that I'm a strong enough man to be with her. So in case anything happens to her, I will do what I can. She knows I will do what I can to protect her from any danger. And let me tell you, with this woman I'm with, she's gone through some things, and I've been there to rescue her quite a few times. And I'm not afraid to mention that. That's what a real man does, right? Let me reset this because they're. All right, I'm back. And so is Rom. Yes, I am. Hear you loud and clear. It's clear as a bell, says Lewis. J. Rom says yes. Biology plays a small portion, but upbringing, ethos and ethics, religion and morality plays the biggest part. And see, J-Rom, you haven't followed my content as closely as some other people have to see that I've actually stated these things many times. I agree with you on that, right? And while you're entitled to your opinion, and it's like busting people's balls, or just maybe you just love playing the polar opposite of anyone, and maybe that's what makes your life interesting, sir. When you make a blanket statement saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm basing, my coaching style on how it is to live here in California or in the Bay Area, without having anything to back it up, dude, that's a pretty bold statement, man. And maybe you just do that so you can have some back and forth with somebody. Maybe it instigates back and forth, or maybe that's just how you really are. But I think I shared enough here today for any normal, reasonable human being to understand. I clearly understand the difference between demographics and attitude and, personality of women. And a lot of their attitude has to do with the way they were raised. I mean, back to their childhood, like I've talked about many times. Did they come from a broken household? Or did they have both parents? If they had both parents, did they have a masculine father and a feminine father? Or were they raised in the ways nowadays, in the same ways that many millennials are raised and the newer generations are raised? Having more of a masculine mother that wears the pants and the feminine father that's submissive. And that confuses, both the little boys and the little girls. So all of that, yes, all of that comes into play, but you have probably kind of cherry-picked through a lot of my content, and you pop in at times and you hear a little bit, and then you make assumptions about, what my experiences are based on. I've got a lot of experiences, bro. Lots of them, right? It's all good, man. I'm not getting triggered. I'm not removing you. It's all good. I'm just responding to what you said on that stream yesterday. Play sorry voice text. Okay. I've traveled this country and others I've dated. Many women from many planes and women don't act or the way you speak of in other parts of this country. You are aware. Dude, you have lived in a different environment than I've lived. Maybe you've lived in more small town areas where everything is more intimate and everybody knows your name, like in Cheers, like in the show Cheers, right? Maybe you're more of a small town guy. And I can understand that, right? If that's the case, right? Because in smaller towns, people get to know each other at a more intimate level, right? And typically in small towns, there are far less distractions happening, right? I get that, right? You're just, you're a rare, I'll tell you, J-Rom, you're a rare breed on how you see things. And honestly, I wish things were the way that you see them. Honest to God, the world would be a much better place if things were the way that you see them, right? But it's not. And also, different men are attracted to different types of women. Okay, maybe the type of woman you're attracted to, there's more of an abundance of that specific type of woman than the types of women that I'm attracted to or most other men are attracted to. To each its own, bro. I'm just saying that, the way that you see things, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just like, you're I thought I was unique, man. You're a very unique guy. And that's just who you are. And you're embracing it. That's great. I'm embracing the way I am. And I will tell you, you are the first person out of every single guy I've talked to on the face of this planet regarding these topics that is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. You are the first guy that's completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. Even the mid-30s guy and the early 40s guy, they know that they've talked about it themselves. They feel about, women and men, how women and men are nowadays. They feel the same way. You've got one of the most unique approaches or opinions or maybe the most unique experiences I've ever seen any man have. But at the same time, J-Rob, if I remember correctly, and you've mentioned this, I think you've been divorced a couple of times, with no disrespect. I've never been married, but I've had several relationships that have gone through breakups, pretty much the same thing. So you've gone through things. You've gone through things with women that were painful and hurt, right? And then I've heard you say in the past that, you remain friends with your wife or one of them or something, right? And maybe that's just the kind of guy that you are. Maybe you just want to be a nice guy to everyone, and that's a great thought, right? And there's nothing wrong with trying to be nice to everyone. I feel the same way. But when it comes to dating and romantic connections with women, it's either there or it isn't. And once it's not there, the best thing to do is to part ways. Now, if you have kids together, yeah, you can be civil for the kids, and you should be civil. But that's as far as it goes. Once it's over, it's over. That's all I'm saying, man. You're very, very unique. I don't understand why the chat gets stuck. And then I had to shut it down and come back. Maybe YouTube will fix that down the road. This is not the iPhone. The iPhone's running fine. I'm sorry, but I'm very cultured and well-traveled. I feel that I'm more able to shift my perspective. We're still friends because we realized we were better friends than partners. And that's fine, bro. To each its own. Right? To each its own. And yeah, J-Rom, you've had some incredibly unique experiences that have shifted your perspective to the complete opposite end of what most men, or how most men see things nowadays. And we're not trying to be angry and bitter in seeing it the opposite way. We're seeing it realistically, right? We're looking at it from a very realistic standpoint, right? I think what you're more so looking at it from is the standpoint of being hopeful, right? And being an overly nice guy. I'm not saying you're not a sissy, J-Rom. I'm not saying that, okay? But the way that you're looking at things is in a very hopeful, unrealistic way, as the way things are nowadays. And yeah. I mean, look, dude, you're a good guy. I'm sure you're a really nice guy. You said it before, right? And your woman respects you, and you respect her. But I'll tell you nowadays, if with most women, if you're a really overly nice guy, a really, really, really super nice guy, then you're perceived as weak. And that's why I tell men that, hey, don't call yourself a nice guy, be a good guy. Technically, I am a nice guy. And I tell my lady, yes, babe, technically I'm a nice guy, but look at me as a good guy, because nice guys finish last, right? A good guy is going to be respectful to his woman and take care of his lady as long as she's doing her part to take care of him, right? But at the same time, a good guy is going to respect himself too. Lewis says he will be back momentarily. Hopefully I don't get cut off again. We are at 87 minutes minus a couple cutoffs. We're probably like at an hour and 26 minutes right now. I'm not saying I don't see it. I'm saying it's not that way everywhere. And if today are the women you're meeting, then change your type of meeting. Fence rider. That makes sense, Coach Rom. Who's fence rider? Is that a sock account? That's not today. Stupid voice text again. Okay, that's fine. Well, J-Rom, it kind of sounds like to me that, yeah, you're saying that, hey, it's not that way with every woman. I agree with you. But you can't base it off of demographics. You can't base it off of, location. There are good and bad men and women in every location on the planet, J-Ron. Okay? You got to base it on, the way they were raised, their personality, things you were saying, right? Are they a good person, right? Do they have morals, values, and ethics, right? You got to base it on, are these women more submissive than dominant? Are they normal, or are they women that have been liberated and are flexing their muscles, right? Yeah, I don't think it has to do with geography. It has to do with people in general. And there are good and bad people, or different people, in every area. There are dominant and submissive women in every area. Some areas have, more submissive women than others. And others have more dominant women than others. And it depends. That right there, I will say, depends on demographics and what's happening around in the area, right? As well. But when it comes to what women are attracted to biologically, it's the same for all women and men. We're all attracted to the same thing. It's just how we get there and how we show up, right? Agreed, but ethos have different ethics. What is ethos? You mind explaining to me what ethos is? I've never heard of that. All these new fancy words nowadays. It's like, I have no clue what ethos is. Ethos. Man. Fence Rider. Welcome to the show. I see a rooster in your profile picture. Is that supposed to mean something? Folks, I used to call myself the morning rooster. And I still have the sound bite on my in-studio streams that I'll use every now and then. Ethos, the characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community as manifested in its beliefs and aspirations. Okay, I you know, J-Rom, I now have figured out exactly the type of person you are, in my opinion. I get it. I understand why we have so many differences. It's not that you want to be that way. It's not that you want to have differences with people. It's just the way you are, dude. And that's fine. I can accept that. I honestly think, give me a second here. Let me get on up here. Gonna head to the observation deck. Nobody's coming for right now. Actually, there are some people behind me, but I'm gonna keep on moving. This is I've chalked it up to this, J-Rom. I think that you have a structured belief system. And Coach Corey Wayne talks about this as well. Coach Corey Wayne, Dan Bacon, many other coaches, but Coach Corey Wayne says this best. That, you know, we're in the modern world, and you know, all the structures of the past have been kicked to the curb. They're out the window. Now, does that mean that there aren't people that are living a structured belief system still to this day? No, there are some. There are quite a few. But not the majority. The majority of people are living a carefree, you know, free-spirited type of life, not a structured belief system. And I think that's where the differences happen between you and other people. When you talk with them, J-Rom, it's because you're so set in your belief system, which you have the right to be, right? But it's so structured, there's no flexibility within it, right? And see, for me, and I'm not trying to say you're not flexible, but when you have a structured belief system, there really is no flexibility. It's a set way of life, right? Just like with your woman, you want a 100% submissive woman. Most guys don't. Most guys want a woman that's primarily submissive, but at least has enough balls and the spine to challenge the guy a little bit and make it interesting and fun, right? But you want a 100% submissive woman at your beck and call. I mean, that's just your belief system and the way maybe women should be and what you want, right? Myself and most other people in this world nowadays are out with the old and in with the new. This is not the biblical era of 2,000 plus years ago, right? And for me, the less structure, the better. Now, do I feel that certain things need to have structure? I do believe in government. I do believe in the police. I believe if we didn't have government and the police, things would be worse off than they are today. right? But that's another story. But as far as structure goes, that's as far as I believe structure to go. Need to have government, need to have police, need to have people that will keep the peace, right? If not, we would just blow each other's heads off all the time. Well, we would do that and we would all be dead. We'd be blowing each other's heads off over stupid little shit, right? So again, I've never been fond of a structured belief system. I've come across women that called themselves reborn virgins. It wasn't going to work for me, right? Does that mean, I'm looking for a trashy woman that sleeps around? No. But I was looking for a woman that's going to be open to intimacy and letting love happen naturally right out of the gate, even if it happens right away. And I firmly believe that chemistry either happens right away and continues moving forward or never happens, right? Some people that have a structured belief system will say, let's take the time to get to know each other for like a couple months. We're not going to kiss or do anything romantic. I'm just going to take you out for free dinners, babe, and let you suck my pocketbook dry, right? Right? And I'm going to hope that after 2 months, it's been long enough for us to get to know each other, so now we automatically all of a sudden feel a large rush or spark of sexual attraction, right? And now we want to be intimate. No, that feeling is either there the moment you lay eyes on each other and we'll continue building, or we'll never be there at all. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. People with structured belief systems don't understand that or want to understand that. I'm coming down because there's a man and a woman coming. They're probably going to come up here. God, I really love these new spider gloves. I am probably going to go order like 4 more at least just to stock up, because I'll never find a deal like this again. These are fantastic. Like, look at these. I can't even see here. There we go. Look at this. And on the other side, look, it has a spider. Oh, wait, sorry. Am I showing it there? These are some really, really nice gloves, and they don't overheat your arms. Yeah, they're going to the observation deck. These gloves don't overheat me, but my hands are not cold, and it's a little bit windy out here right now, right by the water. Oh, I love these gloves. They're so stylish. I love the spider stuff. I almost feel like Spider-Man, right? But it's not even the fact that they look cool. It's like the material is really, really nice and much better than the other ones I would get on Amazon from a company called VI Grace. It's an independent company. I have a feeling these are going to last longer and take longer to rip. The other ones weren't bad, but these are just, oh man. Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. I'm going to be going off the air in about, I'd say probably 15 minutes or less. I'm going to go off the air for a second and come back and see if the chat resets. Let's see here. J-Rom says, no, I'm the least structured. I just see both the 6 and the 9. Well, J-Rom, you could have fooled me if you said that you're the least structured person, because if you were, I'm just stating my opinion, man. If you were the least structured person on the planet, then you would clearly understand where I'm coming from, as the majority of men on this YouTube platform, Reddit forums, and then here's another thing, J-Rom. My experience with all this stuff, I've done personal development on myself for the past 20 plus years. I've been reading forums since the days of dial-up. I follow forums, I read things all the time, okay, in different demographics, different areas all over the world, all over the US, Canada, Mexico, etc., man. I've gone on dates with multicultural women. A lot of them come out here to the Bay Area for opportunities, right? San Francisco Bay Area, the king of opportunities, right? The king place of opportunities. High-tech capital of the world. I think you're confusing intrigue or interest with chemistry. You can't possibly have that spark until you get to know someone. Well, again, J-Rom, you're entitled to your opinion. I respect your opinion. But I can guarantee you that 99 out of 100 men you ask that question to will answer it the complete opposite of what you're saying. And I'm not saying that to one-up you or anything. I'm not trying to one-up you. I'm just like, you have very unique beliefs, bro. You have very, very unique beliefs, right? Dude, I can see a woman walking on this hiking trail, and I'm thinking in my head, boy, I would love to bang that. And I'm a good guy, decent guy, right? It is a natural man's instinct to want to bang everything that walks, that he's attracted to. But us grown, mature men, and for the sake of my lady that's listening, just because I may see someone, that's attractive and I'd want to bang him doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I'm committed to my lady and I'm a faithful man. I'm just saying it's a natural primal instinct, just like my lady. She can see other hot guys on the street and say, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to bang him, but she's faithful to me. Dude, you've got to be kidding me if you don't have that manly primal instinct of where you just see a beautiful woman just walking down the way. It doesn't make you curious. I mean, what do you think attracts men to even want to talk to women, right? Right? Back in the days for the internet, J-Rom, we had to approach women based on something, right? And these women aren't holding signs saying, hey, come and approach me. I'm looking for an LTR with a good guy, right? They weren't a walking dating profile back then. They just looked nice. They would attract you with their looks. You attract them with your looks, and you have a conversation, right? And if you start to connect within half an hour, and the attraction's there, and you start to kiss and make out, that's a normal thing, dude. Come on, man. I mean, dude, either I'm not buying this, bro, or you're just the most unique man I've ever encountered on the planet, dude. And I'm glad we're having this conversation here today because, hey, you know what? There are some really unique people in this world. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not banning you. I'm having a conversation with you. Like, this is not even trash talk. This has actually been a very interesting conversation, wouldn't you say? It's been an interesting conversation with two men here that are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, right? And quite frankly, in my opinion, I think, bro, you're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum with the majority of men. But that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad guy. It doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't working. It works for you. You've got a woman. You got a happy life. That's all that matters. You just got a different belief system. That's what I think. That's what I see. All right, folks. We are at 104 minutes minus a couple minutes for cutoffs. So an hour and 2 minutes. We're at 1 hour and 42 minutes, folks. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air. I say about 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes or less. Got some people on the right here that are wearing masks, even though all the mask mandates have been removed. No more mask mandates here in California. It's all done. Even though I went into a store yesterday or the day before, and I wore a mask. And the clerks weren't wearing masks, so we're all good. It's just been a habit, you know? What a beautiful day. That lady's got a nice, I think, Sony camera just like mine. She's taking some nice pictures. I got to bring my Sony A6400 out here and take some beautiful pictures. I've got the normal lens on it. It has a wide angle lens, and it does go out, I think, to 50 millimeters. And it goes as wide as, I think, like 12 millimeters or something. But I need to get a really super, like, telephoto lens or something. That's the cool thing about getting those real digital cameras, the mirrorless ones by Sony. Well, Canon and all other companies make them too. But you can get interchangeable lenses. They're just not cheap. But I will get some good ones, you know, over the next few years. Just not right now. I got a budget for other things. Thank you for visiting Bar Island. God, I really love these glasses. Not these glasses, these gloves. And they actually keep my hands warmer without them sweating. Like, that is, when you get really good material, folks, when you spend a little more money and get great products, or you get these products on clearance, it's just amazing how much longer they last and how much more value you get, and you know how much better they work, right? Like earlier today, I went on to the Under Armour site. They have some clearance stuff every now and then, and I got my lady and I some stuff that was on really, really good deal. And there was an additional coupon. Like, a lot of the stuff I got was already like 50, 60% off the regular price on clearance. But then there's a coupon for an additional 25% off all outlet clearance products. So I literally probably on average saved like 67% on these products. I literally got like $300 worth of products for like $100 from Under Armour. I got 6 new beanies. I totaled up those beanies at regular price. They would have been $157. I got 6 new high quality beanies for $50. I will sport these on some in-studio videos I create in the near future, like bedtime stories with Eli. I'll bring that back soon, right? I even got my lady a funny shirt that years ago I wouldn't think about getting any woman, but I care about this woman, and it was a funny joke, but I do respect her too. And then the shirt says, it's a girl's world. The shirt says it's a girl's world. And I had the choices of 2 colors, either one being, I think it was like a grayish color, and the other one was a black color. I got her the black one. It really pops and stands out. I'm going to have her wear this shirt when we go out after I get it. I'm going to have her wear the shirt. It's a girl's world. I was talking with her about it today. I actually sent her the pictures of the items I got for her. I got a few things for her. I got a really good deal on them. And let me wait a second here. There's some people coming. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I was sending her the pictures, and she was really thrilled about it. And she really loved that. You know, it's a girl's world shirt. And I got her a lanyard because she has a lot of keys as an assistant manager at her work. I got her a nice pink Under Armour lanyard that was half off. Instead of $10, it was $5. And what else? I can't remember. Oh, I got myself a nice, I'm going to sport this on a future in-studio show when I get it. I got a nice, like, navy blue, high-quality collared Under Armour shirt. The regular price, $64.99. $64.99. Well, after all discounts, I got this shirt for $24. Okay, it was like 60 something percent off, like 63, 64% off. And for those of you who've been watching me for a while, this shirt's comparable to the Calvin Klein liquid cotton polo, t-shirts, or not t-shirts, liquid cotton polo shirts I used to wear. But these Under Armour shirts are made even better quality than the Calvin Klein. And they only had one color, blue. If they had a few other colors for that price, I would have brought like 3 or 4 of them and stocked up. But when you find good deals like that, they're going to have limited colors and sizes. They had my size, and they had probably one of the best colors available. I just wish they had some other ones at that price. I would have bought it up. But yeah, stick around, folks. Stick around, folks. Some new videos coming soon. I'll be sporting some new apparel. I also, like to, share my apparel with you folks and give you folks some ideas of how to dress a little bit better and feel better about yourself, and also come off more attractive to other people around you, especially if you're trying to attract a dating partner. Still have 18 people here. Let me go off the air and come right back and see if there are any more messages left. If not, I'm going to shut this down. Please, folks, smash the like button. Thumbs up. Share this on your community tabs. Share this out on social media. And subscribe, bang the bell, select the notification. All right, I am back. J-Rom, I subbed. I get hit on constantly even though I'm a semi-beta. Sir, I think you're a troll, and I think J-Rom knows you. Like, you're not going to come into someone else's chat with mine that requires you to be subscribed here for 24 hours and then acknowledge Coach J-Rom and say you subscribe. Dude, if you want to subscribe to anyone, who cares? I don't care. But come on, man. Quit playing games, dude. I know you're a sock account, that is fake Google/YouTube account. Coach J-Rom, okay, going for dinner later, y'all. All right, folks, thank you for being here. J-Rom, thank you for being here. Lewis Fuller, Adelaide, and anyone else that was watching behind the scenes. Thank you to the other person. I can't remember what his name was. I go back. Where is he? Your portal. And anyone else that I missed. Folks, I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, no. Tomorrow I'll probably take the day off to spend with my lady. Unless I do a stream before I meet her. I doubt it, though. Don't expect content tomorrow. If you get content at some point tomorrow, it'll be a bonus. If not, I'll be back on Thursday for episode 249 of Walking with Purpose Live. And then Friday, the milestone episode 250, more than likely from different locations. Have yourself a great day. I'll see you all next time. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.